Hundreds of reports cross school leaders' desks every year. Some are read, some scanned, some simply filed away and forgotten about. Occasionally though, one stands out. It makes you sit up and take notice. And this is just one of those reports. The conclusions are too important to ignore. This is the starting point for transforming how teaching assistants work in your school, for transforming how they work in any school.
Sir Kevin Collins has been the Chief Executive of the Education Endowment Foundation since 2011. I asked him why this report, produced by the Foundation, deserves particular attention.
Well, schools, as you say, receive so much information all the time from all sorts of people. But the one thing about the information they get from us is that this is stuff that's been learned in schools in this country. It's not been made up on the hoof, it's not some theory, it's actually what we have learned in English schools with people at work with our children. So that should make everybody want to listen, because these are schools like yours. And more than that, the way we've conducted the research means that you can trust it because it's reliable, it's secure, it's the kind of research that has rigour, and that's a fundamental part of our way of working.
And do you think that the wider issue around TAs and making changes in school, is that also about a budgetary and resource issue from a school leader's perspective?
Well, as a nation, we employ something like 400,000 teaching assistants in our school system, which is a huge endeavour, a huge investment. So we all know that in these times of restrained budgets that's becoming more and more apparent on schools, we need to get the most out of every penny we spend and every pound we spend. So making sure that you're deploying your teaching assistants well, you're supporting them to produce the results that they want to produce and that children deserve, is hugely important for value for money. And that's a part of the reason why I think the research is always presented in a way that we tell you about how secure the evidence is, we can tell you about the impact, but also we can tell you about what it costs to make these changes. And as we know, teaching assistants, when they're deployed well, are an incredibly efficient way of supporting children's learning.
2 long sides. Can we do that? 2 long sides.
In this course, we'll examine what the Education Endowment Foundation's research into teaching assistants has revealed, and we'll look at the practical steps every school can take to transform the impact of their teaching assistants on student achievement.
And it is a rectangle.
I visited the Institute of Education in London to find out more about the impact of the guidance on teaching and learning. There I met with Diane Heritage, who is a director with the Outward Institute of Education and has extensive experience working in senior leadership roles. She has been instrumental in helping to roll out the findings of the report in Yorkshire and the Humber. How have the schools changed as a result of the research?
The plans that they adopted were based on the head teacher initially having a very strong vision, compelling vision for how things needed to be, and then working alongside other colleagues, usually a development team that was made up of a senior leader, SENCO, HLTA, teaching assistant, who were very skilled at articulating what practice would look like if it was the best it could be for the children they were serving. And a plan then developed to make those things happen. So some changes were made around how teaching assistants were deployed. So that might be a shift from working alongside particular groups of children to a more fluid approach, where the children were having equal time from teacher and teaching assistant. It might have been to do with preparedness. So in most schools, they found that they needed to build in quality time for the teacher and teaching assistant to plan together, evaluate together, and give one another feedback, and that was built in. Most of the schools also worked on skill development, and that may be to do with the whole workforce, the teachers and the teaching assistants together, or that might have been specific skill development, for example, around questioning. But putting time and emphasis onto professional learning of the adults in the school was a key part of enabling the changes to happen.
Making best use of teaching assistants means empowering them to do the best job possible. It means using research findings to shape changes in deployment that work with your school setting. It means remodelling the role of teaching assistants in your school for the benefit of all. Making best use of teaching assistants is a leadership issue, one that's at the top of the agenda for any school who wants to raise achievement and maximise the use of scarce resources. By the end of this course, you'll have everything you need to make change a reality
and to take people with you as you go.